What's up, everybody? Welcome to Make Things Tiny. Today we've got an affordable and new tiny house community coming outside of Denver. So this is a great video for those of you who have been looking for a place to put your tiny house, but you've been feeling kind of discouraged by some of the prices maybe you've seen out there. So I've got a tiny house community for you that I'm almost certain is going to fit your budget. So I'm excited for you guys to hear about Ben, learn about this community, and get excited about your future potential home. If you're new to the channel, please do take time to subscribe. Helps me out a ton. There's a notification bell you can tap and you find out when I drop new videos. I drop new videos every single week, so let's get into it. Let's learn about this brand new tiny house community in Colorado. All right, I'm here today with Ben. Ben, thank you so much for being on the channel. Ben is the owner of Big Ben's RV Park and Tiny House Community, which is a brand new community that's coming outside of the Denver area. Ben, if you don't mind just talking a little bit about what got you into tiny homes and why you decided to create the park, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, yep. I love tiny houses, was a tiny house enthusiast from once I got out of college in 2012. Loved watching HGTV. Loved it. Got to watch all kinds of uh, DIY builds and actual manufacturers building theirs. Got a lot of inspiration from there and just fell in love with it. Figured
That's
I
awesome.
would love to build one day, and I actually did.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's how a lot of us feel like we've watched HGTV, and that's kind of like how most of us got introduced to tiny houses. Did the RV park come first and the tiny house community second? Like what sort of like did you first decide to do which one, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, we have our RV park up and going. We figured it'd be great to kind of get some cash flow while we were trying to figure out the logistics of
Mhm.
how big we wanted the pads, what kind of amenities we wanted to provide for our tiny house community itself. We figured the RV park was pretty simple, so we just got it up and going. We ended up put all the water in for the whole park, all the sewer in for the whole park for both the RV side and the tiny house side.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. That's cool that you were able to do one before the other. I feel like it'd be a lot to try to do both at the same time. But now you've got things going with the RV park, and you've got the tiny house community that's coming sort of like down the line. Can you sort of walk me through what it would be like for those that are watching if they reach out and they want to join the tiny house community? What would that process look like for them?
Yeah, I'd say reach out to our number, reach out to our email, info@bigbensrvpark.com. Right now, we're just trying to get a feel for who would like to come out. We've got that last little straw that we're trying to figure out, the electric side of things. So, in talks with my electrician, trying to figure out just who would like to come out. Once we have a ballpark figure, we've got 33 spaces. So I've kind of got a limit to how many folks we can bring into it, especially
Hmm.
this one. Eventually, we'll kind of break out and do some more towards the Front Range in Colorado here, but just trying to get a feel for the interest, I guess, is where we're at right now. Um, Feel free to reach out to us at our number right there on www.bigbensrvpark.com or contact us at info@bigbensrvpark.com. And once we kind of figure out if this is the right fit, we'd love to have you come out, check us out, see if it's the right fit for you as well. Um, I guess that's kind of where we're at right now, getting the interest. We could have this park community side of things up and going within a month or two. Just want
Okay.
to make sure this is going to be right for fit for everybody.
Yeah, no, sure. And that's a pretty good timeline too. That gives people enough time to find a tiny house if they don't have one or get things situated if they have to move. Will you have like restrictions on what types of tiny homes can be in the park? Do you have potential partnerships with builders? What will that look like?
Yeah, we don't have any restrictions that I've come up with right now. I mean, as long as the unit looks good. I know I'm not discouraging any kind of DIYers out there from
Mhm.
coming to our community. Um, just making sure because we're in town limits, we do want to make sure that we're bringing some nice vibes into the town, making sure that we grow our town properly, and definitely making sure we're accommodating for um, DIYers as well as other types of manufacturers all around. We don't really have any restrictions as long as it looks good.
That's fair. That's good to know because there are, as more communities come up, there are more restrictions that I think people are sort of noticing, and depending on, either the aesthetic or the builders or even down to not allowing DIY. So it's good that people have a sense for what can and can't be allowed in different parks. So it's great that you're bringing that up so that people watching, if they've got a DIY tiny house and they want to live outside of Denver, you're definitely the place that I would recommend them to go to. So you're the one that they should be going to. So that's really helpful to know.
Definitely. And I do want to answer the second part of that question. Do we have
Sure.
any partnerships? We do. I do have another company that we actually have that actually manufactures tiny houses. I am approved through the auto industry here in Colorado as a dealer. Just have to do a couple last minute paperwork things to become a manufacturer through there as well, and
Hmm.
I can build tiny houses as well. I will be a manufacturer as well, and it's interesting because I have both sides of it, the manufacturing and the
Sure.
housing side of it. You actually do get a discount if you have us build that model for you. We've got a few different models, but um, once we have it built for you, you can move right in. Once you kind of let us know you want to come on in, and you actually get $100 off a month. Right now, it'll be $100 off, and that includes everything. I guess I'm getting into your next question here, but
Oh,
go
you're
ahead,
good.
Nick.
No, that's really great to know. So that's for the lot rent, I'm assuming, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the price for the monthly lot rent, and then what does it include?
Yeah, it is 600 a month right now. I really want to just make this really competitive, really enticing for people who want to just get out of the hustle and bustle of Denver. Build your tiny house, come on out. It's real peaceful out here on the prairie. We are about an hour and a half east of Denver, but it's great ambiance. 600 includes water, sewer, electric, internet, and laundry facilities.
Oh wow. Okay. So that's all inclusive. I think that's one of the most all inclusive lot rents I've seen, and then $100 off if they choose you as the builder as well too. I think that's I mean honestly that sounds like a really like a steal in my opinion. So that's great. I hope that people reach out to you and get connected and move in whether they choose you as the builder or not, because
Yeah.
that's a good thing to know that you're including all of those things in the fee. Mhm.
Yep. And I do want to put a little plug in there. This
Sure.
is our first tiny house. It is very difficult here in Colorado to find a place. Colorado's not a great place when it comes to them being accommodating to tiny house on wheels. So I found a way around the red tape,
Mhm.
and this is our first tiny house community right out here in Araba right now. Eventually, I do want to, once we get this one filled up, the cash flow gets a little better. I do want to kind of step towards the front range and give everyone some options.
Mhm. No, that makes sense, and that's really good to know. I wasn't going to ask that directly, but that is something that I'm surprised by because I think the sort of the image that we get is of Colorado kind of being like a hub for tiny homes. So it's really helpful to know that it's actually not the easiest place to find a place to put your tiny house on wheels. So I'm sure that that's helpful information for people that are watching too.
Certainly.
What types of amenities do you currently offer in the community, or do you plan to offer over time?
Yeah. Right now we have a bathhouse. It just kind of serves the purpose for the RVers coming in. We've got men's and women's shower, um, a toilet, sinks. We do have trash services. I'm working on getting some fun amenities, a little putt-putt course
Mhm.
put in, some cornhole games, horseshoes, a few other little different things that we can just have the family come on out and just be active.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming soon. Ultimately, I really would love to have a community garden. We've got a great space for that. Got about a quarter acre where we're going to have a good space for community garden. Going to have a large clubhouse that we'll build here in the coming years. It'll have a space to just hang out, maybe have some food options there, give a little bit of relaxing space. Obviously, we're going to beef up our bathhouses and make sure that we kind of keep the RVers in their own space, and then our community is dedicated to our community.
No, I mean, it sounds really great to me. And I also think there's a chance for, people to grow with the community. So as the community evolves, people can grow with it too, and they'll see the different changes come into play. And so I think that it would be a misconception to assume that you have to have your entire community completely built out and every single amenity good to go, because I think some people want to see things change over time as well too. And, so maybe they'll have suggestions and they can make suggestions for how to make the community feel more like a home for all of them. So it sounds like a really great start.
Yeah, I'm all for suggestions. We'll have kind of larger spaces in my mind. I mean, you go to these different RV parks and you see everyone on top
Mhm.
of each other, and we may have some element of that with our RV park, but we're right off I-70, so we get people just coming in and breezing through for a night. But our tiny house community, we're going to have real spacious lots. They're going to be 60
Oh
by
wow. Okay.
60, 50 by 70, real spacious, so we can actually uh, allow our residents to come in, have a space of their own. If they want to put a raised flower bed or garden bed in, they can do what they want. If they want to have something separate from the community garden, it's pretty much up to them what they want to do with the space, as long as it kind of fits the criteria of looking good, making sure the town is um, liking the appearance of
Yeah.
everything.
No, and those are huge lots. Honestly, that's a 60 by 60. That's a really big space, considering what, length tiny houses tend to be. That gives people plenty of space to, have, their own sort of like outdoor, like sort of like environment for themselves that's still private enough. So that's really great to know too in terms of the lot sizes. What would you say has been the biggest challenge you've faced in the past few months or so, like sort of developing this and sort of like starting to build things out?
Yeah, I'd say in the beginning it was a hard task to get the town on
Hmm.
board. They were not vehemently against it, but they had a misconception of what it was that I wanted to do, and I really had to share with them the vision of everything. They thought, oh, it's going to be a trailer park. We're just going to bring riffraff in, and it's like, no, 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 no. We want to bring people in, create community, bring nice, good families in that can kind of aid towards the building of our community with some uh, businesses, uh, community itself. Um, just trying to get them on board with that was a little difficult in the beginning, but once we started getting traction on developing, getting to the point where we were showing a lot of progress, it kind of mellowed down a little bit. I'd say that's really the only thing outside of the money aspect, just uh, running out of money here and there and having to go out and work. We've done our best to not pull any loans out on this, and it's just been a ground up type of situation
Mhm.
here.
That's good. I'm glad that you've been able to do that without taking out loans. And I see I mean, the town sort of getting behind it makes a lot of sense. Like, that'd be difficult because I think that it's sort of a new concept to people to have all these communities sort of popping up. Even though tiny houses themselves aren't new, there's probably a group of people that never saw like tons of tiny house communities, popping up in different areas, especially outside of major cities. So I think that's fair, but also what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Like, you can bring in tons of new people. I think it's a great way for cities, especially smaller towns that maybe have been sort of like not having as many resources lately, to bring people in that work remotely or that need jobs in the area. Like, I think there's a really cool opportunity to help rebuild some communities through these tiny house communities.
Yep, you're right. That's exactly what I want to do.
It's awesome. It shows too. So for anybody that's watching, that's thinking like, all right, I'm excited. I want to live here. I want to move into Big Ben's RV park, or for people that are just curious about moving into tiny house communities in general, what's the best advice you could give them in terms of things to think about, maybe questions to ask, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'd ask if it's any other RV park or tiny house community. I'd check to see if there's any
Hmm.
restrictions. Obviously, Colorado has quite a few restrictions. Every county is different. Every town is different, even from the standpoint of RVs and tiny houses on wheels. Tiny house on wheels are classified as RVs here in Colorado. So, in most counties, in most jurisdictions, you can't live in your tiny house year round. And I think there was a place in Adams County in Denver where they had just that. Somebody was living in the backyard, renting a space in their tiny house on wheels, and the county got wind of it and said, "You got
Oh
to get
man.
out of here." It's like, but we've
Yeah.
been living here for a while. It's like, why is this? So I check with the restrictions. Obviously, we've gone through that already. We've gone to the extent of checking the zoning, making sure we can do what we do here. Everything is kosher, so you can live in your RV or tiny house year round in Big Ben's RV Park and Tiny House Community. Um, Furthermore, I check to see what kind of amenities they have, if it fits with your lifestyle. Um, I mean, even that. I mean, if you get to the point where you're desperate, hopefully you're never desperate, but just make sure you breathe, take some time, check things out, make sure it's legit. There's a lot of scammers going
Yeah.
around making claims that they can't fulfill and just
Hmm.
taking money, not even showing anyone the space. So just make sure it's legit, make sure it fits with your criteria. Don't be hasty. You've got
Yeah,
time.
no, that's really great advice, especially the part about making sure it's legit, because I do think that it can be really easy to be taken advantage of in this industry. I've seen it happen, and I think as it continues to expand and you have more and more people getting involved, maybe that aren't seeing just are sort of seeing it as a business opportunity and don't actually care about the homes or the people, it can be really easy to kind of fall for a nice looking photo or like something that sounds really good, especially like cheaper lot rent, but there's no proof of anything actually happening. So that is really great advice. I couldn't stress that enough myself, that people really do need to do their due diligence and ask questions. And it might take a while, but like you're saying, it's definitely worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ben. I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me. I'm super excited for you and everything that you're doing, and I'm really excited for people to just learn from you and get excited about joining your Big Ben's RV Park and tiny house community. So they'll be able to reach out to you directly, check out your website, social media. All that is in the video description. So hopefully they reach out and find their new place.
Great. Thank you so
Yeah, of
much,
course.
Mick.
All right, that was my conversation with Ben. I appreciate Ben taking the time to walk us through every little detail of the community, all the amenities, the lot sizes, the lot rent, $600 a month, all inclusive, covering all those things that you'll need, and $100 off your lot rent if you choose Ben as your manufacturer. So this is a great deal for you guys. I'm excited for you. Reach out to Ben, send them an email. The email's in the video description. Check out their website, social media, find your new place. And if you're new to the channel, please do take the time to subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And if you're interested in looking into other tiny house communities, maybe you're in the shopping stage, maybe you don't live on the West Coast, make sure you check out other videos like the one that's included here at the end of today's video. And as always, don't forget to think tiny. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.